With so many different microphone reviews out there, I know you're wondering this one question. Should you go and buy an expensive microphone like the SE Dynacaster, or will a cheap microphone like the Fifine AM8 do the trick just fine for you? So in this video, we're going to go over the differences between an expensive microphone and a less expensive microphone. And of course, at the end, we're going to do what really matters, the audio test. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ty, and make sure you guys throw a like up for this video, and anything that you see in this video you can check out in the links in the description. All right, so this is the SE Dynacaster. It is on the high end of the mics I'm going to show you today. Of course, you guys can tell it's hooked up with XLR. So let's talk about the physical makeup of some of these microphones. So the SE Dynacaster, it is all metal. It has a nice windscreen, comes with it, but this mic is so good, it doesn't need it. So when I take it off, it still sounds good. Honestly, typically I like how it sounds without the windscreen, but I used it just to show you guys what it sounds like with it. All right, so now this is an expensive microphone. Again, the high end. You guys will notice that the only thing you can hook this microphone up with is XLR. So this is a purely XLR microphone. I did see a comment in my last video. Someone asked me if I prefer XLR microphones, why don't I just get an XLR microphone? And again, this is my most expensive microphone. This is the microphone that I would prefer to use for all of my podcasting and all of my videos. But you know, this one typically stays on my desk. I don't move this microphone. I don't like to do too much with it. And I'm gonna explain the reason why as we go on this video. But back to the physical makeup of the SE Dynacaster. So you guys can see it all metal. This, since it's solely XLR, is made for the XLR cable to hit it at just the right way so that you don't have any type of cables in the way. If you're using a boom arm or something like that, the XLR cable can go right with your arm. That is a key feature of a microphone that is solely for XLR. And again, this is the SE Dynacaster. I want to show you guys another key feature to the SE Dynacaster. So you guys can tell, all metal, and this microphone does a great job of rejecting plosives. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. And that's without the windscreen. And I'm going to show you guys why. So this is how the Dynacaster sounds without this grill. See, this grill is a built-in windscreen. If you guys look inside there, you're gonna see a filter all around that. That helps block out a lot of noise. Right now, the microphone probably still sounds good too. And then if you take that off, take the top of the microphone off, you get another pop filter. All right, so this microphone has, and one more, look at that. So this microphone has several filters to block out and reject noise, reject those plosives and things like that. And even now, it still sounds good without all of this. But this is the reason why this microphone doesn't need a windscreen. This is a great dynamic microphone. You know, you have to talk right in front of the microphone. But the SE Dynacaster is a champ. It is a champ. I'm gonna screw this back in real quick. I don't want to damage my microphone. Again, this is my most expensive microphone. Okay, so now that everything is put back together, you guys can see that the SE Dynacaster is made like a tank, and it has a lot built in, just the physical makeup of it. So now let's drop down to a lesser tier microphone. This is the Maono PD400X, and this is my second most expensive microphone. Honestly, it has the same type of make as the Dynacaster. I guess I got a type, but this microphone, you know, is all metal too. It's all metal. It has that grill all metal. It's tough. This microphone can go from XLR or USB, and because of that, it's not made in a way that you can allow just XLR. So if I were to hook this up, you know, it'll come from the back and I still would have my cable hanging just slightly, but this microphone still is great. And again, all metal. This microphone is a little less than this one, but it still sounds great. You guys gonna hear it. And at the end, next is the Fifine Tank 3. And if you ask me, I think this microphone was made to be Maono's competition. Again, you guys can see a trend, right? The microphones all look the same, huh? Right? You can see a little trend. So you guys can see a little trend. Dynamic microphones. And again, I gotta type, but I think this is Maono's competition. Again, we have an all metal build, and we have these built-in windscreens, and this microphone is a little cheaper than Maono's, but again, when we get to the other features, you guys might understand why. But this microphone is pretty good. It's built solid, built like a tank. So that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get all metal microphones when you pay a little more money. Next up is another dynamic microphone. This is the Fifine AM8, and this microphone isn't all metal. It's made out of some plastic. It has XLR and USB, just like the Fifine Tank 3. It's not all metal though, and this microphone is meant to glow with RGB lights. If you hook it up with USB, you guys can see this windscreen is pretty good too, but this microphone is made a little different configuration. But yeah, plastic is what you get with that. So that is one of the features when you start going down in price. Plastic. And you know, you still have the ability to hook it up to a boom arm. All right, so I just showed you guys some of the physical properties that make an more expensive microphone a little more sturdy. And what I'm saying is, you know, plastic versus metal. All that means is all metal microphone, you can maybe drop it. It can withstand a little more damage, but you really don't want to damage your microphones, right? You shouldn't have to worry about that, but that is a key feature. And again, you guys saw how many filters are built into the SE Dynacaster and the other microphones too, but I can't take those off like the SE Dynacaster. So now we're going to talk about features. So one of the features of a high-end microphone like the SE Dynacaster is the SE Dynacaster has something special that none of these other microphones have, and that's it has its patented Dynamite built into the microphone. And its Dynamite is, simply put, a cloud lifter that's built into the microphone. I know Shure just recently came out with something similar, but the SE Dynacaster has been doing it, and I had the SE Dynacaster before Shure, and again, it has built-in cloud lifter. And what that does is it allows you to pick up a lot more sound. Like a lot of times when I'm using this microphone, I have to cut it down because the amount of power it has. I could be all the way back there and cut it up. And that's good if you are, you know, trying to record sounds that are a little far away, or you want to have your microphone out of shot but still want that dynamic sound. That's when the SE Dynacaster shines above any of the microphones I have here. All right. Of course, XLR by itself picks up a lot, but with that built-in Dynamite, you get a lot more power. I'm telling you, every time I record, I have to cut this mic down, and then when I start switching, I have to cut other mics up. And to follow that up, the SE Dynacaster has another thing that is special. So with the SE Dynacaster, you can change the sound of your audio on the back of the microphone with XLR. Typically, you can't do that, you know, unless you are changing it on your mixer or your interface, whatever you have. So typically, you have to, you know, have some type of editing software or the mixer to change your highs, lows, and the pitch of your audio. You can do that from the back of the microphone with the SE Dynacaster. You can up the highs, up the lows, or, you know, just keep it flat. You can do that from the back of the microphone. But those are pretty handy features to have on your microphone. And of course, since we talked about the features, good features, and I guess one of the negative features about the SE Dynacaster, if you are someone that uses USB mode and like to be able to switch between XLR and USB mode, you can't do that with the SE Dynacaster. It's meant to be used with an interface. But that doesn't bother me because I prefer XLR and this microphone typically stays in one place. Speaking of features, one of the features of the Maono that it has and none of the other microphones have is it has on the back of the microphone, if you have it hooked up to USB mode, you can switch between the different settings just like the SE Dynacaster can do in XLR mode. It can do the same exact thing in USB mode where you can up the highs, up the lows, or, you know, stay flat. All right, and that's the Maono PD400X microphone. All right, the other two microphones, the Fifine AM8 and the Fifine Tank, you can control the gain and the volume of your headset from the microphone if you have it in USB mode. So again, the SE Dynacaster, unless you have an interface, you can't hear your audio. With these microphones, if you have it in XLR mode, you can just plug your headphones to the back of the microphones. All right, so again, you get a little bit of give and take. One other thing that I would like to point out about the Maono PD400X is it also comes with software. So if you are using XLR, you have a pretty cool editing software that comes with it where you can change and play with the sound of your voice. Like you can put it in broadcast mode or you can put it in bright mode and it really changes the sound of your voice. And this is good for someone that's a novice and doesn't have any editing software and they want to do a little bit of altering of their voice. You can do that with the Maono PD400X because Maono has a pretty nice software that comes with their microphones that you can use in USB mode. But if you're going to use XLR mode, you can't use that software. That software is only for USB mode. All right, so now I'm gonna show you guys what these microphones sound like. First, I'm gonna do a test with XLR. I'm gonna show you guys what each of these microphones sound like with XLR. You guys have been hearing the SE Dynacaster. So how does this audio sound? Make sure you remember what it sounds like as I switch between the two. Again, this is the SE Dynacaster. Check 1 2, check 1 2. How does my audio sound? So this is the sound that you're hearing from the Maono PD400X on XLR mode. And this microphone is about half the price of the Dynacaster and it has USB and XLR mode. So what do you guys think? And again, this is the Maono PD400X. Let's go to the next microphone. Check 1 2, check 1 2. How does my audio sound? And this is the Fifine Tank 3. This is a newly released microphone. And this microphone is a little less than the Maono PD400X, but I believe it's its competition. You know, Fifine and Maono be going head to head, but this is what XLR sounds like with the Fifine Tank 3. Let me know, how does this audio sound? Let's go to the next microphone. Check 1 2, check 1 2. How does my audio sound? So this is the cheapest microphone, and this is on XLR mode. This microphone is a quarter, maybe less, of what the SE Dynacaster costs. So tell me, how does this audio sound on XLR mode? This is the Fifine AM8. And again, if you hook this microphone up with USB, you will get the cool RGB lights. So again, this microphone is a quarter of this expensive microphone. So tell me, how does this audio sound? Does it sound worth your money? So now, since I have so many USB microphones, I will be plugging these microphones up with USB just so you can hear the difference between USB and XLR. So first up, this is the sound of the Maono PD400X with USB mode. And I have to say, man, so yes, I have it hooked up with Maono's Link app and it's on my laptop, and I have it set to legacy mode. And man, this sounds awesome. I had to say that. I had to say that because I'm going through the motions. And again, this is Maono hooked up with USB mode. Please tell me, how does this audio sound? So this sounds a little different from the XLR mode, but man, this is a big difference. And again, with Maono, you can play with the settings and sounds of your voice because it comes with editing software. So again, let me know what you guys think about the Maono PD400X hooked up with USB mode. All right, let's go to the next one. Check 1 2, check 1 2. How does my audio sound? And this is the Fifine Tank 3 hooked up with USB mode. And just plugging this up with USB mode, I'm noticing a great difference than this in the Maono. Like I said, the Maono is a little bit more expensive. This microphone is still good. I can still hear myself, but slightly. So I have my headset plugged into the back of the microphone. I can't hear myself that great. I can hear myself really well with the Maono PD400X. This one, not so much as I'm doing it. Of course, you guys won't notice a big difference because I'm going to up the sound of it. Again, I don't do anything but level out the microphones so you guys can hear the sound of the microphones. If it's too low, I'll just beef it up. All I mess with is the gain. I don't do anything else. But yeah, this is the sound coming from the Fifine Tank 3 on USB mode. Let's go to the next one. So this is the last USB microphone. This is the cheapest microphone, and you guys tell me, how does it sound? This microphone has a cool feature that none of the other microphones, and that's the ability to have these cool RGB lights. So you can have it, set to a certain color. I like the purple. You guys can see why, because it matches what I have going on in the background. But if you want to add a little extra flair, that's cool. But that's one of the things that this microphone has. So you have the ability to go from XLR to USB, and you have these cool lights. The only thing is, of course, you guys know it's the cheapest one, so it's not made out of metal. But does that matter? Does the sound hold up? And this is the Fifine AM8 hooked up with USB mode. Again, this is the Fifine AM8. It sounds pretty good. One thing that I am noticing, again, with USB, I can't hear myself as well in the microphone, and I feel like I have to have my microphone up close to me on USB. I feel like if I'm back here, you can't hear me right now as I'm listening to it. That's how it is. So I will see it in post editing if that's the same case. But I feel like this microphone has to stay right up in front of you to be heard. So that's one thing to note if you are on USB mode. I don't think you had that problem on XLR mode, but that is something. So that's why I like the power that comes from a more expensive microphone. But again, this microphone, you can buy 4 of these and you still won't touch the price of this microphone. Now let's get down to the final thoughts. So let's get down to my final thoughts. Should you buy an expensive microphone over one of the cheaper microphones? So I think it all depends on what you need your microphone for. I love the SE Dynacaster. The sound is great. I don't need any extra software. It's hooked up with XLR. I do love the sound of it, but I know that these expensive microphones are expensive, right? Everyone can't afford to go and get the most expensive microphone. But with that being said, you don't always need the most expensive microphone to sound great. A lot of it comes down to the look of the microphone and the usage. So one of the drawbacks to XLR is you can't use your phone. You have to have some type of interface that you can connect to your phone, but you have to have an interface. So if you're talking about an expensive XLR microphone, cha-ching, and then you talk about an expensive interface, cha-ching, and then you're talking about headphones to listen to it, those things can quickly add up. But with an cheaper USB microphone or XLR USB, you can upgrade when you need to with the USB/XLR microphone, and you can use your phone when necessary. So I do other podcasts and other videos, and my microphone of choice is the Maono PD400X when I'm using my phone. And the reason being is because this microphone is powerful, and the fact that you can change up the voice settings and you can set your microphone to far, near, depending on what you're trying to pick up or the sound. I typically use on far. When I do my kids gaming videos, yes, we have a gaming channel too. When I do that, I typically put the microphone out of shot, of course, and I point it towards us, and it works just fine. And I use that on USB mode because I'm moving. One thing about XLR microphones, the cables, I didn't touch on that. The cables are expensive too. And the cables can get easily damaged. I've damaged several XLR microphone cables. At one point, I thought my microphones were just trash, but I figured out that I had static in my microphone because my cable got pinched. That happened a few times. I've replaced a few XLR cables, and again, I would prefer XLR, but sometimes it's not practical if you are doing a lot of moving around. They're not as versatile because if you damage that cable, your mic is going to have a whole lot of static in it. So again, those XLR cables and XLR microphones need to be stationary. You shouldn't be doing a whole lot of moving around with those microphones because you're going to have to take care of those microphones. So again, my SE Dynacaster, my most expensive microphone, doesn't move. If I need to do a podcast somewhere else, I'm going to use a microphone like the Maono PD400X, the Fifine Tank 3, or my Fifine AM8, just because, if I do damage something, it's not my microphone that costs 2 and 3 times the amount of these microphones. So it's just my thoughts on that. And again, if you listen to the audio, you guys can tell that all of these microphones sound great, especially if you are already using XLR. If you want to use XLR and sound clean and crisp, any of these microphones will do the trick. If you don't believe me, just go back and listen to the audio. All of these microphones hold up. But it's just a preference on if you have the money, the style of your microphone. I don't think you should break the bank. If you don't have the money, don't go out there and try to get the most expensive microphone and, hurt your pockets if you can't afford it. At the end of the day, whatever you're recording, it's your content. It's your content that really makes a difference, not necessarily your microphone. If you're a content creator like myself and you're looking for a microphone, again, you don't have to have the best sounding microphone out there. I know people that have successful channels, successful Twitches, and they don't even have the best audio. I know people that have thousands of followers and their audio sucks. So it's not really your audio, but it's you that makes your content. All right. So that's just my thoughts. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you can see a little bit of the differences between an expensive microphone and a cheaper microphone. And yeah, I appreciate y'all checking me out. Peace.